Now I'm going to teach you the first basic command of command line interface or command prompt. Like I said that we have to perform a task in command line interface using some command. So cd means change directory is the first command which I'm going to teach you. But before that I want to show you a basic command which will you have to use again and again. So for example, I'm going to write some wrong command or some spelling mistakes like this is press enter and this is gonna get some error that this is not recognizable. Again some mistake, again some mistake. Now as you can see that my screen is kind of dirty or kind of messy. So what will I do? I will simply use a command known as CLS, which is clear screen command. And now my screen is totally clean. Okay, now let's go to the our first basic command, which is basically change directory command. What is a directory? Basically in this course I'm going to use the directory word again and again, so don't confuse it. Folder and directory is basically the same thing. In Windows we basically sometimes use the word directory and sometimes we use the word folder. Usually in graphical user interface like we have right now in front of us, which is this is, and we all usually call this folders, where in basically command prompt we usually call this directory. Both are the same thing. Basic directory and folder are the same thing, which contain some files or folders, where a file is something which contains the data. Okay. So what is the syntax of change directory command and what is the purpose of change directory command is that the change directory command is basically used to go from one directory to another directory or to the previous directory or to the beginning of a directories or folder. So as you can see right now I'm in a system32 folder or directory which is in Windows directory, and Windows directory is basically in local disk C directory. For example, I want to go to the previous folder which is basically Windows. So what will I do? I simply write cd space double period. Double period means that I can go to the my previous folder and press enter. Now I am in my previous folder. Okay. Suppose I want to go to the previous folder again. Simply write cd double period. Now I'm in my local disk C. And now I think I should go to the Windows folder again for something, for some purpose. Simply write cd and Windows. Oh, spelling mistake, my mistake. cd Windows, and now I'm in my Windows folder. And again, if I want to go to the system32 folder, simply write cd and the name of the folder, which is system32, and press enter. Now I'm in my system32 directory or folder. So how can I verify this that I'm in a right folder? And what is all these folders basically? Simply go to the your file explorer and go to the local disk C, and here you can see my Windows, and in Windows I can find my system32 folder, which is basically this. Now suppose now I want to go to the beginning of my directory. So simply write cd and backslash. Now I'm in my local disk C. So this was our first command. Command I'm going to teach you is basically dir command. Dir command lists all the files and subdirectories contained in a specific directory or a folder. Every command gives you some functionality, and you can extend those functionality by using the various switches or option or attributes. First, let's use dir command. What is the syntax of dir command? Basically, simply write dir and it will show you all the folders or directories in your specific path, which is basically AMD, MinGW, perform logs program. And as you can see, go to your local disk C, and here you can see your all the folders, which is AMD, MinGW, perform, program logs, program file, and etc. Now let's use some attributes for this command. For example, you want to show the names of the file and you don't want any excess information, for example its size and attribute. So simply write dir backslash b. B is basically the attribute. As you can see that when I use the backslash b attribute, it is just showing me the names of the file. It doesn't giving me any other information like the size of the files or the byte size, etc. Where if I use dir simple, it will give me the different file like the time the file has been created, or the time and the date and the size of this file, and the bytes is contained, how many directories are in it, 8 directory, one file. But when I use dir backslash b, it will just giving me just the names of the files. Okay, now I'm going to use that D attribute. What is the purpose of D attribute? It will show me all the it it will display all the files in the current path, which is basically BGW, Windows, temp user, and AMD. As you can see, there's one files and 8 directories in it. Okay, for example, I want to display all these names and the file's name as in a lowercase letter. So what will I do? I will simply use backslash L with my dir command. Simply write dir backslash L. Now, as you can see that my names of the file is in small or lowercase letters. As you can see, AMD is small, perform logs, and this. So this is the purpose of our dir command. You can use some other various attributes for this command, and there are hundreds of attributes for this command. So it's all depend upon your uses. So for the teaching purpose, I taught you some basic attributes for this command. Thank you. Teach you the third command of our code, which is make directory command. The purpose of make directory command is to create a directory or a subdirectory. So syntax of make directory command, as you can see on my screen, the make directory means mkdir, the shortcut, or syntax of this command, space drive in which you want to create your folder, backslash folder name. Okay, as you know that in change directory command we use some multiple attributes. Just like that, we can also use some multiple attributes in make directory command. So the first, let's create a directory in our local disk D. Let's create a directory in our local disk C. How can I create this directory? Simply write mkdir command and name of your directory. For example, I'm going to write hello. This hello is basically my directory name. And as you can see, there's no error in on my screen. So how can I verify this? There's two methods. First is basically use dir command, which I've taught you. And as you can see, there's a folder hello. And the second one is basically go to your file explorer, go to your local disk, and you can see there's a folder hello or a directory hello. Let's clear the screen. Okay. What if you want to create a multiple directories at a once? So how can I do that? Simply write mkdir space your first file name, which is for example user1, space, and second file name, which is user2, space, third file name, which is user3, and enter. I have created three directories, user1, user2, and user3. To verify this, simply write dir command to verify this, and you can see there's a three directory which I've created, user1, user2, and user3. Let's clear the screen. Now, what if you want to create a directory with a name and space in it? For example, let's create a directory, mk directory command, and I'm going to write a hello world. When I'm trying to write a hello world, command prompt doesn't know that I want to create a file name with hello space world, but in return it will create two different files. As you can see, there's error because hello directory file is already contained. So let's make some other file with a different name, mkdir, and trying. And now I told you that I want to create a file name with trying space trying, but what will happen? It will create two different files. Let's verify this, and you can see there's a two different file. But like I said, I want a file name with a try space trying in name. So how can I do this? Simply write mkdir and write the name in quotes. trying. Now it will create a file name with trying instead of creating two different file directories. Let's verify this, and now you can see that my directory is being created, which is trying. Okay, so this is the purpose of our make directory command.